Okay, well, we're going to show how to write equations in slope-intercept form. And if you remember, the slope is the letter M for the French word monter, and B is your y-intercept, the place where the point or the line crosses the y-axis. So in the last chapter, we were given lines to graph. Now we want you to write the equations of those lines from the graph. And that is what we hope to accomplish today. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form with a given slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 5. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the slope is 3 and the y-intercept is 5. That means M is 3 and B is 5. So if I put it in y equals mx plus b form, that means y is equal, in place of m, I'm going to put the number 3, the x still stays in the equation, and in place of b, I'm going to put the number 5. Y equals 3x plus 5. If I was going to graph this, remember you start from the 5 and then go up 3 and over to the right 1. Okay, let's try a couple more. Y equals m, which is 1, and the y-intercept b is -4. I'll give you a moment for you to try it. Okay, so that is y, let's see if you got it, 1x. You can either put -4 or plus a -4. Either one is correct. Let's try that again. This time the slope is 1/2 and b is 8. Okay, give you a moment to try it. Okay, stop. Okay. This time we have y equals 1/2 x plus 8. How'd you do with that one? For number 3, this time the slope is -9 and the y-intercept is 0. Y-intercept is 0. Let's try it. We always start with y equals slope m -9x. Remember, the slope has the number x by it. Now, we could put plus 0, or we could just leave it as is. I'm going to choose to leave it as is. Remember though, if I was to graph that, I'd start on the origin, go down 9, and to the right 1. Last example for these. Okay, this one doesn't say b, but we know the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. That means x is equal to 0. So that's the point 0, 7 there. Okay, well, we can do this. Start with y equals, then we have 6x plus 7. So far, so good. Now, what if I gave you the graph and you had to tell it from the graph? Well, now we have to read the slope from the graph. So sometimes, at first, I'll highlight 2 points. In the future, you might have to find those 2 points. If you have the graph, remember that slope is rise over run. So yes, we could take the time to do the subtraction, but a quicker way of doing it once it's graphed for you is to start at one point, draw a right triangle to the other point, and count. How much did you go up? Your rise was 1, 2, 3, and your run was 1, 2. That means our slope is 3 over 2. So let me write that down here. 3/2. Now we also have to find b, the y-intercept. So again, I'm going to look at my graph, and it goes, I'm going to count from the origin, 1, 2, 3. Well, that means this point here is the point 0, 3. Alrighty, that means my b is 3. Now I take those two, I only need a slope and a y-intercept, substitute the m, or 3/2, into this part of the equation. Excuse me. And the b, which was 3, I'm going to put here to get the equation y equals 3/2 x plus 3. Now again, just in the future, if this line had been going down, so this way from left to right, then I would have needed a negative in front of it. So I always check, is my lines going up, positive slope? Yep, check. Okay, let's turn the page. A few more graphs here. And here, I'm going to take a quick look at this line. No points are highlighted, so I have to decide where to highlight points. Well, for today I'm going to pick this one here, and I'll pick this one here. Notice I'm not picking ones in between because they're hard to read. So I'm going to take from one point to the other and draw a right triangle, rise over run, count it 1, 2, 3, 4. Only this time I went down 4, and I ran to the right 1, 2. Now, if at all possible, reduce. So 2 goes into -4, 2 times negative. So I'm going to write this as -2. And next I have to find the y-intercept. So I look to see where it crosses, not the x-axis, but the y-axis, which is right here at the point 1, 2, going down negative. So let me circle that and write it down here. Now, it doesn't always turn out to be the same. This just happens to be one of those equations that does. And I'll start, remember it starts with y equals, in place of m, I have -2x plus -2, or I can write it as -2. Okay. Let's try the next one. Would you like to try it on your own first? I'll give you a moment. Okay, so first I have to pick 2 points. Any 2 points. I'll pick this one and this one. Looks like I'm going up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Looks like stairs when I'm done, but I basically have 1 over 1, which is just 1. And then I look for my y-intercept. Oop, there it is, right at the origin, so it's 0. Ready to write the equation? Sorry about the shadow there. We've got y equals 1x, and because it's going through the origin there, I'm just going to leave it y equals 1x. I don't have to put the plus 0. You could if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, moving on. All right, now this is it's a shallow line. It's not as steep. That's my dog in the back. I'm going to pick this point and that point, because again, all these are kind of in between. I want to get ones in the crosshairs there. So I got to count how much I'm going up and how much I'm going over to the right. Rise, up 1, run, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is up 1, right 4. Now I have to look for my y-intercept. Crosses the y-axis here at 1, 2, 3. That point right there. And so that's the number 3. I'm ready to write my equation. Again, positive slope, lines going up, check. Y equals, you guys write it first. 1/4 x plus 3. Good job. Last one here. Ooh, this is not a slanted line. I know that this line is going from left to right, like the horizon, east to west. Horizontal lines, horizontal, z, zero slope. So I don't have a slope here. There is no rise. There is no up or down movement. There is definitely run, left and right. So 0 over anything is 0. So all I need to find here is the y-intercept. It crosses at this point 2. So I could put 0x, but I don't need to. I'm just going to start with the y equals, and then 2. That's it. No x because there's no slope. Now for your challenge problem. So far so good. Let's read it together. Write the equation. Okay, equations mean you have equal signs. Slope-intercept form. We're going to learn 2 other forms in this unit, so we want to make sure we're good on one form before we move on to the next in a couple days. Has a slope of 2. Okay, that means m is equal to 2. And is going through the point 2, 6. That's going to be a little more challenging. Because when I go to plug in, that point doesn't have 0 as a y-intercept, so I can't just put 6. I know that I have y equals 2 for the slope, x plus b. How could I find b if I know the point it goes through is 2, 6? Well, remember 2 is the x, and 6 is the y. So I could use substitution. Whistle blows, out goes y, in comes 6, equals 2. Whistle blows, out goes x, in comes 2, plus b. Working out my equation there. 6 equals 2 times 2 is 4 plus b. What plus 4 equals 6? Oh, that's 2. Again, just luck that it's the same number as the slope. It won't always happen that way. It said write the equation, so I have y equals, equations have equal signs, 2x plus 2 for the b. I could also graph that. It would be better if I use graph paper. Now if I go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Ah, there's my line right there. Just went through the y-intercept of 2.